Hi guys, Joe Protocol here. Welcome back to another tips and tricks video. It's been a while since my last one, but I'm quite happy to be able to come back with something fresh. And for this video, I want to do something using Vital Synth. This is a synth I've used a lot recently. I've been delving into it quite a lot and doing some quite interesting sound design. And what I want to show you in this video is how I made one particular sound for a track of mine called Instant Gratification, which was out on the Spy Technologies LP number 10 on Decipher. The sound's a very typical kind of tech step pad stab sound, and I want to do like a kind of step-by-step walkthrough of how I made the sound. But first of all, the sound sounds like this. This sound is also part of a Vital preset pack which I just launched recently on my Bandcamp page. I'll be sure to leave a link to that preset pack in the description below, but let's just go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's start off with the actual preset or kind of source sound for this sound. In my pack it's called Classic Creeper, and it sounds something like this. So there's the sound, but I'm going to walk you through from an initialized patch in another instance of Vital. But you see the layout, you've got a couple of oscillators here, a couple of filters, and the effects will go through. So starting off with an empty patch, here is what Vital sounds like. So I wanted something like a sawtooth style wave, but not the standard one. So if you flick through some of the wave tables they've got here, you'll come across one called Three Graces. Exactly. If you go into the 3D view, you see the whole wave table, so you can choose where on the wave table you actually want to, this sound to play. So there's, it gives you kind of a sawtooth wave sound, but the kind of initial one on Vital kind of lacks the character. It's got sawtooth, but it kind of lacks the character. So this comes to life a little bit when we open up the unison a little bit. So let's open up to 8 voices. There we go. Let's open up the second oscillator. Well, actually, it's the third oscillator. The second oscillator in my patch is actually just empty. It doesn't do anything. It's one of those kind of creative things that just kind of happens along the way. I wanted to kind of layer the kind of more characterized sawtooth wave with a standard one, just to kind of give it a little bit more presence. And you can hear that. So there's with. Doesn't interfere with the character too much, but gives it a little bit more presence overall. So that's the oscillator setup. No unison on the third oscillator, because that all comes from the first. So let's move on to the filters. The kind of funk in this sound, that kind of movement, that envelope following a filter, comes from the filter, and a bit of movement on the filter from the LFO. So let's go ahead and add an LFO on the filter cutoff of filter 1, but we want to make sure that we are receiving, that this filter 1 is receiving signal from all oscillators. So oscillator 1, 2, which isn't doing anything, and 3. There you go. So there's that kind of more funky element to it kind of coming in. Also, you need to be sure that the filter has some resonance on it, because when the resonance is down, it just kind of shifts the frequencies, but doesn't have that kind of twang that gives it that funk, the kind of wah-wah type sound. So when you increase the resonance, you can hear that kind of twang coming in a bit more. And I kind of keep it on the triangle LFO waveform here, because I just want it to kind of like move up and open up the frequency band. And yeah, the envelope stays pretty kind of slow attack, not much of on the release, and the sustain just stays kind of maximum. So not much with the envelope there, but I added a second filter, and on the second filter I kind of added more of a band pass, and you do that by kind of shifting this band here, so you can go from kind of like low pass to high pass, and then band pass in the middle. So let's hear this sound. It's really important actually with the routing that it comes after filter 1, because I want to filter off filter 1. So you click on filter 1 here, and the sound moves from filter 1 to filter 2. There you go. So it kind of sounds a bit more like a, I don't know, a bit more guitar amp like. But yeah, I also had another LFO on here just to also give it that kind of twangy feeling. But you can kind of adjust either here or here on the LFO too how far along it moves. You see this kind of like green line moving here? This is like how much that band pass filter shifts. So there we go. So that's kind of it for the oscillator filter and modulation part. Let's move on to the effects. So in the effects, I want a chorus, just to give it a bit more. There you go, some more width on top of the width we had from the unison. And what's really important in this is a delay. So I actually went for 1/2, but this is the sort of thing that you can just kind of play around with yourself to kind of personalize it with whatever you're doing. So there's the delay. I'm just going to back off the feedback a little bit because maybe a bit too many repetitions. Cool, I like that. Now let's move on to some distortion, because it wouldn't be drum and bass without some distortion. Not too much though. A bit of soft clipping gives it just a bit more kind of presence, basically. And next we've got the EQ, just to kind of bring back some of those higher frequencies a little bit. So there's some presence there. And I think last but not least, there's obviously some reverb. This can also be balanced to taste pretty easily. Give it a nice bit of space here. And last but not least, one of the most important things I found with this sound is the notes that you choose to play. Now, I didn't follow any kind of major or minor chord for this because I wanted this sound to sound discordant, and to sound discordant you don't need to follow the kind of standard rules. So I found that the combination notes that I liked were A sharp, B and then G sharp, and there you have it. That was my kind of tech step sounding pad effect hit thing, which I used in my track Instant Gratification. As I said, I have actually released a pack of Vital presets, which you can download from my Bandcamp. This preset is included along with 24 other different presets which I've created for myself, which I will definitely use in some productions, and that you can use in yours. So if you want to go and grab that pack, just head to my Bandcamp. The link will be in the description below. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.